Hello, welcome back to the road to episode 8, my ongoing series where I chart the road to the release of Star Wars episode 8, The Last Jedi on December 15th, 2017. And this video is going to be a bit of a ranty one. There's a couple of things I want to talk about, and a lot has been going on Star Wars news. We're really gearing up now towards the final push to Celebration in just 2 weeks, or just over 2 weeks. And we're going to get the first episode 8 trailer in a couple of weeks. It's really exciting stuff. But there's quite a few things I want to talk about. There's one very specific episode 8 thing I want to get to, but I'll do that in the next video because it's kind of spoilery, and I don't want to kind of have people not be able to watch one of these videos if they want to avoid certain spoilers. And I'll say what it is. It is the first words that Luke speaks in The Last Jedi. They've been kind of revealed through some event where press was shown some clips, so I'll talk about that in the next video, which I'll upload fairly soon after this one. But in this video I want to talk about some Rogue One and Han Solo spin-off movie stuff. As I talked about, the Rogue One Blu-ray is coming very soon. I believe it's coming out in about a week or so, and the special features have been profiled and they've now been given running times. So the second disc of the Rogue One Blu-ray has numerous featurettes, and as I said in a previous video, I hope they're a bit more substantial than the 6 to 7, 8 minute long kind of fluff pieces where everyone talks about how great it is that they worked on a Star Wars movie. And while I can't comment on if they're going to be fluff pieces where people just talk about how good it was to be involved in the Star Wars movie, I can confirm that these featurettes will be very short, and altogether the entire kind of running time of the second disc is just over an hour, which is kind of disappointing to me. Now, I'm sure it's going to be very well produced and put together, and there's going to be a lot of great behind the scenes footage and interviews from people involved in the making of the film, of course. But as I said before in another video, I really was hoping for something a bit more substantial, particularly in the area of their recreation of Peter Cushing as Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One. You know, one of the most extensive digital kind of creations of all time, I think. And it might have the top spot for that. I mean, it was incredible. But that part of the making of gets 6 minutes. 6 minutes of something they spent years on, you know, and just this incredible technology that has enabled them to literally bring an actor. I mean, there's so many things you could talk about with that. There really is, and I feel like they're kind of missing such a golden opportunity to talk about something really cool. 6 minutes just doesn't sound like it's going to whet my appetite for that kind of stuff, and it really makes me miss the prequels again because they had such great making ofs and there was so many things covered. No stone was left unturned, it felt like, with those special edition DVDs of the prequels. And you know, the kind of new era of Star Wars movies, Disney have kind of, they put effort into it, don't get me wrong, but it just feels like there's more to be tapped there. But I guess they don't want to spend too much money where they don't need to. I mean, the thing's going to sell like hotcakes anyway, so... but I mean, like I said, I haven't seen any of it. I just know the running times, and it's kind of disappointed me. And also, Gareth Edwards has talked about deleted scenes and alternate endings and whether there's a director's cut of the film because the Blu-ray is coming out and there are no deleted scenes. People have asked him about it and stuff, and he said, and I'm kind of going off memory here, not verbatim, but he was talking about how there is no real director's cut. There's no kind of deleted scenes, there's no completed scenes that were not used in the film. It was always a free-flowing kind of experience with the project. Like, we've heard stories of him just taking the camera and just running around with it on the sets that they made, you know, to really just capture stuff and kind of be in the moment with that kind of style of filming. And so there was so much footage, and we know this because there's so much in the trailers that aren't in the final film. And he said that there's no real, you know, complete scene that you can just pop onto the Blu-ray because anything that was finished was part of the film. And so I kind of really understand where he's coming from on that, and so for me, I'm fine with there being no deleted scenes. But people are like, oh, I call bullshit, and it's like, well, no, I mean, he explained himself very well, and I don't think it's necessary to go back and start constructing new scenes to put onto the Blu-ray. That is more effort than it's worth, I think. But I do think they probably should have put together a featurette where they talk about this, and they talk about the fact that the ending changed and that there was different plans, and that, you know, scenes were there in the, you know, that they shot bits for that went into the trailer but then didn't end up in the final film. I think they could really kind of make a bold move and talk about, hey, we didn't have it all figured out. We had to kind of change some things, and this is how, you know, that worked with us. Because I think it'd be an interesting thing to delve into is how you deal with these last minute changes to a big film that you put in so much money and time and stock into, You know, I think that's an interesting story, but obviously they're not going to be that willing to tell it because it's not the most of positive. You know, it's like, oh, you ran into... I mean, there was a big kind of kerfuffle on the internet about how there was reshoots, which was very weird to me because every big movie like that has reshoots, but... yeah, I think that probably could have been covered, but, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, that's the Rogue One stuff. Bit of a mini rant there. I wish there was more, you know, and I always want more. And again, I always get spoiled by these special editions from, like, Peter Jackson, you know, the Hobbit movies, getting, like, 13 hours of special features. And I watched all of them, and it was great, and it was really enjoyable, and it was awesome. You know, and it's just a shame that films that are better than the Hobbit films don't get anywhere near the same kind of... treatment, which is a shame, but it is what it is. I'll keep saying that. Now, Han Solo, and one bit of news, a character name, and if you don't want to know about a character name, then turn the video off now, but Woody Harrelson is going to be in the Han Solo origin movie, I guess we can call it. It's untitled at this point, and he has revealed that his character name is Beckett, so there we go, that's a piece of information for you there. But Disney CEO Bob Iger was talking about the future of Star Wars. And, you know, if you remember back in 2012, when they first bought Lucasfilm and Star Wars, you know, in one fell swoop, they kind of had plans for a new trilogy, and that was kind of it. And now it's grown to, you know, 6 movies, and Bob Iger has now said that, you know, he foresees a future where we're going to be getting Star Wars movies every year for the next decade and a half, which kind of worries me a lot. It really does. Like, I think you can have too much of a good thing. And this is going on to a whole other topic, but I just I get worried when they kind of settle down and kind of stick their boots into the ground and say, right, that's it, Star Wars movies forever. I would love a break. I would really love a break. I would love to see Han Solo come out, Episode 8 come out, Episode 9 come out, do the final spin-off movie that's kind of a block of 6 new movies. Take a 5-year break, you know, kind of reassess things. If you want to do episode 10, 11 and 12, wait 10 years before you do that so it feels special, and you'll get a better return on it, I think. I think if you keep doing these every year, there's going to be diminishing returns as far as the business side of it goes. But if you leave that gap and you kind of leave the people wanting more, I feel like it will be long term a better investment for them. But also just for us as movie fans, we get a break. But, you know, I mean, you know, Disney, they're behind the Marvel movies now, and they're churning out, you know, twice a year, and there's no real signs of it slowing down. So we're probably going to be seeing a lot of Star Wars, whether we like it or not. And hopefully they keep it going. And I do have faith, because all the people making these Star Wars films are fans. But then you get into dangerous territory. Are we getting too much fan service? You know, with films like Rogue One, that was just like a big love letter to Star Wars in a lot of ways. And I guess people say that about The Force Awakens too. It's a minefield of what ifs and should they not. But the main thing I wanted to talk about was that Bob Iger said that, well, first and foremost, he said that he's seen Episode 8 and it's quite good. Which just reminded me of CP. It was quite alright, you know. I thought, way to sell it, Bob, you know, like, oh yeah, it's quite a good film, you know. One of the most anticipated films of the past few years. Anyway, the main thing I want to talk about, he talks about the Han Solo movie, and he said, the cool thing about, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here, the cool thing about the Han Solo movie is that we're going to get to see how Han Solo got his name. What? I just... Stop. Shut it down. Shut it down. Like, we're gonna get to see how Han Solo. We're gonna get to see how Han Solo got his name, guys. It's incredible. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. Who, you know, didn't sit down as a kid and watch A New Hope and go, wow, that was awesome. They blew up the Death Star. But man, I wonder what Han Solo's real name is. I need to know his real name. No one has ever wondered what Han Solo's real name is, and I've read online that people say, well, it was kind of hinted at in the Expanded Universe novels that Han Solo is actually a code name, it's not his real name, and it's like, I don't care. I do not care. We get into such dangerous territory with these films where we're literally 40 years now. We're coming up on the 40th anniversary of Star Wars. 40 years after a film, you don't need to go back and tell us, you know, how that character got his name. We don't need to be told, okay, that's not his real name. You know, we don't need to have this stuff retconned. It's like, what's going to happen in 20 years? We're going to get an origin movie about the guy who invented blue milk. How much do we need to explain of the backstory? Let's move forward a bit. I know they're going back to do a Han Solo movie, but there's only so much you can kind of mine in that lore and in the stuff that has come before. I just don't understand why we need to go to such depths, you know. turns out Han Solo's real name is John Bisley. Like, what the fuck? I really don't want to know. I really don't want to be told that that isn't his name. They shouldn't be telling us what his name is, you know. His name is Han Solo. That's who we know and love. It's not like Han, you know, the artist formerly known as Han Solo. Like, just... Can you tell how much this kind of tweaked me when I first read this? And I've been kind of sitting on this for a few days as well. I've been kind of letting it stew, I guess, but... I don't want to know. I mean, sure, we can see his backstory with Lando. We can see how the Millennium Falcon plays into it. We can see how Chewbacca plays into it and all that kind of stuff. But don't start going so deep that it's like, did you know that Han Solo is not his real name? No, his real name is Alan. Like, now I'll admit Han Solo is not a, you know, a common name, but. It's Star Wars, it shouldn't matter. Do we really need to see where he got his name from? Just stop. Just stop. You know, just rein it in a bit. Tone it down a notch. We don't need to know everything. You know, there's so much leaning on the past. And again, I know they're making a Han Solo movie, for God's sake, but just... some things shouldn't be tinkered with, I think. And I'm not saying that this Han Solo name thing is kind of like the tip of the iceberg, or even the whole iceberg. I'm just saying that it's part of the problem, you know, that could get much worse as the years go on. You know, as we get to, I don't know, the IG-88 movie, you know, and find out about his family and kind of, you know, and then sympathise with his plight when we see him in The Empire Strikes Back. Oh, well, yeah, he was going to hunt down Han Solo, but think about his kids, you know, like, I mean, how far does it go? I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out. But there we go. That's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts on finding out. It's ridiculous. Let me know your thoughts. I just can't. I can't finish the video. Oh my god, I'll leave it in, fuck it. How far is it gonna go? I just... Wow, okay, this, I mean, hey, if you can't make yourself laugh, who can you? I mean, okay, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on finding out Han Solo's real name and the Rogue One special features, and I'll see you in the next one.